Elizabethan period, which comes after the age of revival. After Mary I's death, her half sister Elizabeth I, daughter of Henry VIII, and his second wife Anne Boleyn, ascended the throne of England. And when Queen Elizabeth I ascended the throne of England, England was religiously divided into Catholicism and Protestantism. Elizabethan period is known as Golden Period because in this era there was no war and rebellions, there was only peace and prosperity. This era saw the emergence of many artistic and creative intellects. In this era, new places were discovered. Many writers, playwrights, and poets were there, and one of them was obviously Mr. William Shakespeare. Elizabeth I, born a princess but declared that illegitimate because of some political alliances. Later, Parliament restored her. Elizabeth I was very well educated. She was fluent in 6 languages. She liked hunting, entertainment of poetry, songs, dancing, etc. She never married in her life and she said that she was married to her country. She reigned 45 years, from 1558 to 1603 AD. This age is one of the most splendid age in English literature. Renaissance. In this era, Renaissance came in England. Renaissance, it's a French word, means rebirth. Means people were looking back on ancient and Greek and Roman writings, arts, literature, architecture, and etc. Renaissance brought a new way of thinking and living in Europe. But Renaissance began in Italy around 1350 AD and then in German and French and then in England. Italian poet Petrarch, who is known as the father of Renaissance. In this era, the modern poetry begins. During this Renaissance, drama became secularized. Another important event of this period is printing press, which was invented in 14th century, but in Elizabethan era it was improved in a new way, which made it possible to print a large number of books. University Wits. It's a group of 6 playwrights. They were educated from Oxford and Cambridge University. John Lilly, Thomas Kidd, George Peele. They're from Oxford University, and Christopher Marlowe, Thomas Nash, and Thomas Lodge from Cambridge University. They were influenced by Renaissance. They took up writings as their profession. They were romantic in their attitude and represented the spirit of Renaissance. John Lilly was the leader of this group, but some of them often ridiculed other playwrights, such as Thomas Kidd, Mr. William Shakespeare, because they were not from an university. I mean, they did not have university education. University Wits writers started their writing before Shakespeare. In this period, drama, poetry flourished. Poetry. Elizabethan poetry is remarkable for many features, including the sonnet, blank verse, and the use of classical material. The best known innovation of Elizabethan poetry is Elizabethan sonnet. Thomas Watt, a court poet, introduced Italian sonnet to England. Elizabethan sonnets are written in iambic pentameter and consist of 14 lines. The first 8 lines are called the octet, and the the final 6 lines are called sestet. Elizabethan sonnet also appear in the drama, such as at the beginning of Romeo and Juliet. The Italian poet Petrarch first popularized the sonnet in the 14th century. The poem popularity spread across Europe, including to England, where Shakespeare and other Elizabethan writers picked it up. Such Elizabethan poets established their own variation of the sonnet, such as William Shakespeare and Edmund Spenser, and they are known as Spenserian stanza and Shakespearean sonnet. Drama. Elizabethan drama divided into 4 groups: comedies, romances, history, and tragedy. Theatre. In Elizabethan era, people of all social classes and sexes attended the theatre. Even Queen Elizabeth went to the theatre on occasion. Some famous theatres of this period: the Globe Theatre, the Rose Theatre, the Swan, the Curtain Theatre, Fortune Playhouse, the Hope Theatre, and more on. Music. Instrumental music was also popular during this era. Important writers of this period. Obviously, William Shakespeare was an English playwright, poet, actor, widely regarded as the greatest writer in the English language. He is often called England's national poet. He wrote tragedies, comedies, and histories that are still read and studied today. He wrote 154 sonnets about life. He added words and phrases to the English language such as blanket, elbow, gossip, traditional, torture, and moron. The first play he probably wrote was Henry VI, a historical play written between 1589 to 1591. His famous works are Hamlet, Othello, King Lear, Antony and Cleopatra, Macbeth, Julius Caesar, Midsummer Night's Dream, Comedy of Errors, etc. And his poems, Venus Adonis, and his sonnet number 18 and 130 are famous. Other important writers, Sir Philip Sidney, one of the most prominent figures of the Elizabethan era. His famous works are Astrophel and Stella, The Defense of Poesy, The Lady of May, and his book Apology for Poetry is the first influential book in criticism in English history. Edmund Spenser, he is best known for The Fairy Queen. Edmund Spenser invented a new rhyme scheme for sonnet and nine-line stanza. This forms one known as Spenserian stanza. Other major poets of this period are Christopher Marlowe, Thomas Lodge, Ben Jonson, Robert Greene, and more. So I hope this video will help you a little bit. Thanks for watching.